Thanks, Amin. So at this week's HIGI, Sandy Robb will give a speech entitled Bridging the Language Gap. Do you ever wish we all spoke the same language? Wouldn't life be easier if we could always understand each other? Sandy Robb is a Toastmaster, a storyteller, and a wannabe writer. She will use her storytelling experience to guide us through some challenges she has encountered with language in areas that you may not previously have thought of as a language gap. After her speech, she invites you to share your experiences in finding common ground.
Thank you, Leah. Imagine the year is 1966. It's the first season of the sci-fi TV series Star Trek. Imagine that you are a crew member on board the USS Enterprise, along with Captain Kirk and the rest of the crew, exploring the galaxy. It doesn't matter what civilizations you visit. With your trusty universal translator, you can carry on conversations with aliens, friend or foe, even if you've never heard their language before. Sci-fi at its finest. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. I was in a meeting in my condo manager's office when our building cleaner knocked on the door. The cleaner, Maria, speaks only Spanish. And Kim, the manager, speaks only English. When Maria started to speak, Kim held up her hand and opened Google Translate on her phone, and she spoke into the phone in English. Hi, Maria, how can I help you? What I heard was the Spanish voice translation of Kim's message. Kim handed the phone to Maria, who spoke into the phone in Spanish. What I heard was, do you want me to clean in here now? Kim took the phone back and said, no, please start with the lobby. When you're finished there, we'll be finished with our meeting, and you can clean in here then. Hearing the Spanish translation, Maria smiled and went on her way. 2 different languages, complete understanding. I sat there stunned. Wow, sci-fi come to life. I have used Google written translation to see what my friend's mom posted in Facebook in Portuguese, but it never occurred to me that the translator could be used to carry on a conversation in another language. Man, was I impressed. And while I was in Kim's office, there were some building reports that we had to go over. So I watched over her shoulder. She scrolled up and down through the files on her computer so fast. I said, hey girls, slow down because you're making me dizzy. She had already scrolled the list, found the file, opened the file, scrolled down about 12 more pages, down to where the section was that we needed to review. And I hadn't even been able to focus on reading the title. Talk about a gap. Kim's speed and efficiency with technology were way beyond me. Her computer language was as foreign to me as our cleaner's Spanish. And that's when I realized that age plays a huge part in the language gap, definitely between the 20 and 30 somethings in my generation. Their language is based on technology. Mine, it's based on experience and maybe bordering on obsolescence. I realized my technical knowledge isn't up to par, so I took a look at my phone and I counted. I have 94 apps on my phone, probably a bunch more that I don't even know exist, and I only use about 25 of them regularly. And when it comes to texting, I'm all thumbs. And in tech talk, that's not a good thing, because it means I use my fat thumb, one-handed, one letter at a time, crafting my message slowly. Then I hit send, and after sending it, I read what I thought I wrote, and then I curse Google autocorrect for thinking it can outsmart me. I get a lot of texts back from my friends with the single word, huh? And I watch young people when I'm on the bus. They're texting, both thumbs just flying, using apps that I've only heard of. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, so many more. And all the while they're scrolling and live streaming. I'm not sure I even know what that means. And at the same time, they can carry on a conversation with their friends sitting next to them. They seem to be able to concentrate on 20 things at a time. And me, I have to keep checking the screen at the front of the bus to make sure that I remember to get off at the right stop. And the abbreviations that people use now. Here are just a few of them from the never-ending, always changing list. LOL, LMAO, TTYL, BTW, IMO. That's a whole new language. And my favorite, TLDR, too long, didn't read. Isn't that typical of the speed of communicating today? Everyone wants information fast and concise in 1 or 2 lines. Sure is different from my rambling texts when I started to text. Hi, Heather, how are you? It's a nice day, isn't it? Are you available to go for a walk this afternoon? Sandy, as though she doesn't know who it's coming from. I used to text like I was writing to her. And even my brother, he was saying he got in trouble with his boss recently for an inappropriate text because he thought WTF stood for wow. That's fantastic. Speaking of my brother, I was just talking to him a couple of nights ago, and he recently switched dentists. There's a new dentist in the area where he lives, and she was offering a free electric toothbrush for any new patients coming in. A $250 electric toothbrush. My brother said to me, he said, I'm so stupid. And I thought to myself, yeah, I could have told you that, but I kept my mouth shut. And he repeated it. He said, I can't believe I'm so stupid. All this time, I thought a toothbrush was for brushing your teeth. He said, I couldn't believe it. This one connects with my smartphone. It tells me if I'm pressing too hard on my gums or not hard enough. It tells me whether the bristle's at the right angle for maximum effect and lets me know when I've brushed one quadrant long enough and have to move on. And not only that, he said, it accesses my playlist and plays my favorite song while I'm brushing my teeth. Who knew? When I think back, I find it's pretty amazing that the first human landed on the moon in 1969. And I've since read that the technology in my smart watch has more computing power than the computers that guided their spaceship. Technology hasn't just bridged languages, like using Google to translate English into another language. It has created a language of its own and given us the world at our fingertips with just the press of a button or a voice command. I like to compare life across generations to a highway. My generation was the one that dug through clay and rocks and mud and built the tunnels and bridges and got life's surface smooth enough to use comfortably. The next generation paved the paths that we created, and they travel quickly through life over the smooth paved surface. And the upcoming generation, well, they'll probably use the paved roads as a sight line only. They will whiz past, feet never touching the ground, floating effortlessly above the roadways and move through life at speeds I can't even imagine. Technology evolves constantly, creating a new language as it grows, a language that some of us older folks have a hard time learning. Is your language the language of technology? Or is it the old language we used when Star Trek first came out? If you're the latter, like me, you may want to try asking an 8-year-old to help you to learn to use today's technology. But don't be afraid to ask them to slow down for you. And if you're of the generation that looks at me as slow and outdated, please try to learn the skill of patience. Because remember, someday you too will be considered a relic. And that's really not so bad, as even a relic like Star Trek has earned its place in the museums. Back to you.
Thank you, Sandy. It was very nice presentation, and I know and I'm sure that everybody enjoyed it. So who wants to be the moderator for tonight? Okay, Calvin, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,